Hey you guys, it's Peter, and welcome to my channel, Peterisms, where I tell stories of my life and just little things I have learned as I have grown into the person that I am today. And I never know what I'm going to talk about anymore when I get up in the morning on this channel. For a long time, I had ideas planned out, but now that I'm kind of caught up on my pre-planned videos or pre-filmed videos for Florida, I just kind of have thoughts go through my head during the day that I'm like, this is what I want to talk about today. And so since it's St. Patrick's Day today, I thought, happy St. Patrick's Day, I thought that we would talk about holidays that are associated with alcohol. So, but really, it's not even a video about that. Really, it's a video about the fact that I never fit in. And I don't know that I've ever felt like I ever fit in my entire life. To this day, I just don't think that I fit in. And I think it's something that was decided about me a very, very long time ago, or that I decided about the world a very long time ago. And it's just kind of been my perception ever since then. I think it's a big part of why I have social anxiety. I think even when people tell me oh no, you fit in, you're part of the group, whatever, I still don't feel like I do. I've always felt on the outside looking in on any situation. And it's probably why my relationship with my husband, that's just the two of us, is so important. And my relationship with my best friend Tanya is so important to me, because those are one-on-one relationships that it's me and I'm in the center of that with that other person, if that makes sense. I was actually just thinking about this. It's with Alex's family, though, I very much feel a part of that. That might be why I love them so much, is I think that even including my own family, that's one group that I have absolutely been accepted into and felt part of my entire life. So last night we went out to dinner with our friends Melissa and Jason, and we were talking about what we were doing this weekend and whatever, and they had plans for tonight and they invited us along. And Alex was like, well, I might go, but I don't know, Peter doesn't really like St. Patrick's Day. And what had happened was, when we first got together, Alex and I, we would go to a big tent party on St. Patrick's Day. And, St. Patrick's Day to me is amateur day. When I was growing up, my mother would make, corned beef and cabbage, and I would wear green to school. We'd have a St. Patrick's Day party, and everybody would wear green so you didn't get pinched. Pinch. But, as I got older, and it becomes a drinking holiday, green beer and bands and Irish bands and all that kind of stuff. And I don't know that I ever really loved it, even when I was drinking, to be honest with you. It's weird, if you're an alcoholic like I am, you might understand what I'm saying. Maybe it's just my thinking, but I didn't need special occasions to drink, like New Year's and St. Patrick's Day or 4th of July. So those weren't holidays that I really enjoyed because of green beer or parties. I mean, it almost kind of was brought more attention to something that I didn't need to begin with, if that makes sense. I didn't need to be a part of a huge group of people just going crazy drunk, I think even for my alcoholic mind, it made me a little bit nervous. So anyway, when Alex and I got together, we used to go to this tent party every year. And then at about 3 years in, I just was I don't need to do this anymore. I don't enjoy it. It's a bunch of people standing around. It all starts at 3 o'clock in the afternoon and ends at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night. And then people want to do house parties and go out to bars, and everybody is just messy drunk. And I hate it. I want no part of it. And so what I would do years ago is, when I stopped going, is I would drop Alex off and then I would pick him up 3 hours later, because he didn't want to stay the whole night either. He just wanted to stay, to hang out with his friends for a couple hours. And so he didn't have to drive. I would, take him and drop him off. Well, the last couple years, it's interesting, I was thinking about this, it's usually always the week before we go to Florida, and he hasn't gone and done anything for St. Patrick's Day. And in fact, he just texted me, and he was getting off work, and I said, are you doing anything tonight? And he goes, no, I think I'm just going to stay at home and, kind of relax and hang out. And he doesn't really ever do anything for St. Patrick's Day anymore. And so last night, Melissa and Jason were like, do you guys want to go with us? Blah, blah, blah. And I was like, no. And Melissa, she doesn't drink by choice, not because she's an alcoholic, but by choice. And I said no, and she's like, I don't love St. Patrick's Day. She's like, I just don't love all of it, but I want to see my friends and I want to hang out. And, that's part of it, I think, is it's I want to be included in stuff too. I want to be asked, even if I say no. And a lot of my friends know that about me. They're like, okay, Peter might say no to something, but at least, we asked him and included him because it makes me feel important to be included. And, New Year's, I always do something. That's kind of the one exception to my rule that I go and I do something for New Year's with my friends that drink, because I want to be with my husband. It's a dress-up night for us. It's a night that we go and do fun stuff. St. Patrick's Day is a shit show. I don't feel the same way about it. Mardi Gras, Cinco de Mayo is the same way. It's a shit show, okay? I don't need to go do all that kind of stuff. And so, last night I was like, no, I think I'm just going to stay at home and do a live stream and whatever. And Melissa was like, are you sure? I'd love to have you there because, you don't drink, I don't drink, we can dance and stuff. And I was like, no, I just, I don't enjoy it. Like, I just don't enjoy it at all. And, even if I go to see my friends, it's like they're all drinking, they're getting the green beer, all that kind of stuff. As they drink through the night, like the level of the conversation changes and I no longer feel a part of it, if that makes sense. Well, it's something that I have felt my whole life, and these holidays for me almost kind of just reiterate that lack of feeling part of something. And, at 45, it's stupid. I mean, I don't think that deeply about it. I'm just like, no, I'm not going to go. But do I sometimes think it'd be fun to go and be able to have a green beer? Sure, but that doesn't work for me because one green beer leads to 10 green beers leads to being arrested or dead. And so I just can't do that. That's not who I am today. But I was thinking about it, and I was thinking about even when I drank, I didn't drink and use drugs the way that other people drank and used drugs. Like, just like today, I don't fit in my friend group because they drank, and I don't. Back then, my friends drank and smoked weed, but they didn't use the way that I used and drank, if that makes sense. Like, I was messy, out of control. So I didn't fit in there either. So it was always like this group and then me, and like I was kind of doing my own thing, but with this group. And that's how I was in high school too. I had a group of 4 or 5 girls. As the one gay guy that wasn't out, I very much felt like the outsider. And a really good example of this, and this is corny, but I still kind of feel this to this day, is when I would go out to dinner with my girlfriends. Okay, let's say I went out to dinner with 3 of my girlfriends, so there was 4 of us. At one point, they would all go to the bathroom together, and I would be sitting at the table by myself. And I felt very excluded from that, if that makes sense. All through school growing up, I felt very similar to that. It was like the boys were friends with me in class in elementary school and junior high until it came to sleepovers, and then I wasn't invited, or birthday parties, and then I wasn't invited. And, I've always just felt on the outside looking in. And I'm not going to say that I'm not resentful about it. I'm not going to say that I'm not pained by it, because I am, and it's like a lonely place at times. But I think that what has almost happened a little bit is that I have become so comfortable with myself, and so comfortable with my dogs and my husband and my 1 or 2 friends that I have that I do things with, that I don't need a lot of inclusion anymore. Would it be nice? Absolutely. Would it feel wonderful to feel part of something? Sure. I gave 13 years of my life to working with a team in a treatment facility that the second that I walked away, I never heard from any of those people again, period. They were like family to me, I felt included, and then I left and I realized that it was all just a mask and show. And so my level of wanting to put the time and the energy into feeling included, I don't have it anymore. I worked all of my life to be part of something and to make other people happy. I talked about that yesterday on my video. I don't have that anymore. I live today to the beat of my own drum. I live today to make Peter happy. I do the things that make me happy today. And if other people choose to be in my life as a result of that, then that's wonderful. And then I have those people in my life. But I'm not begging for anybody to be in my life today. The days like St. Patrick's Day are interesting to me because I was thinking about this. So I left my office this morning, and my office is in an area where there's all these bars and stuff, and people, it was really loud. I mean, it's like 35 degrees in Indianapolis today, and it is so cold outside that it's like, who is sitting outside drinking a green beer with shamrocks on your face? I mean, I get that it's fun. I do understand that, right? Like, if I didn't have a drinking problem, I wasn't an alcoholic, would I like to go and have a beer? Sure. And that's kind of what I was like thinking to myself as I was walking by. I was like, I'll never be part of that, but I also don't want to stand by and watch other people and their entertainment either. That isn't fun for me. So I think that the real rule, the end of it is, trying to find things that I can be included in. I can remember complaining about this back in the day, and I said something to my sponsor about it, and he said, he was like, well, why don't you have like a sober St. Patrick's Day party? Really? How fun is that? I mean, what are we going to do? Bob for shamrocks? So it's like, to some degree, it's like Peter just quit complaining. And there was a couple years in there, though, sober, that I did go with some sober friends, and we went and ate at Irish restaurants. Like, there was a restaurant in Indianapolis called the Clatta, and then the Aristocrat that's in Indianapolis, and they had like this Irish band, Celtic band that used to play, and we used to go do that, and that was fun, But it's like, it doesn't have the same meaning to me as it used to, and I guess, like for me, it's not that I wanted to get on camera and I wanted to complain about the fact that, oh, woe is me, I can't have a green beer. I mean, like, listen, okay? I have an amazing life. If that means I can't have a green beer, I'm okay with the trade-off. But it is a reminder to me at times that I just don't fit in with the rest of the world. And I never really have. And I don't really think I ever will. And that's okay. And the weird thing is, it's funny even like looking at myself in the camera right now, I blend in pretty easily, I have a pretty conservative haircut. I wear a t-shirt. I go out in public. But I feel like inside of my head, I think so differently than everybody else. And I think, like, I just, I'm dancing in my car and I'm singing at the top of my lungs. I'm just like, I just don't fit where everybody else is at my age. And maybe it's because a lot of people at my age, or 20 or 15 or 55 or whatever, that we're a bunch of weirdos and we don't feel like we fit in, that we don't find each other. And isn't that sad? Wouldn't it be wonderful if we could all find each other in one place and have this tribe of people that had never fit in, that all together could come together? I think that would be wonderful. But, I don't have a necessity for that today, but I'm reminded of it from time to time. I'm reminded of it, of how bad it hurt at times in my life and how bad I really, really wanted to fit in. I love you guys, and I will see you later. Bye.